who, in your mind, who's the starting other guard?
First of all, did you say Oubre Jr.? Come on, bro. It's Oubre Jr. Man, get it together. First of all, you got to get the names right.
Okay.
You get your names right for all these stats
Well,
you do?
first
You
of
can't
all,
get the names right?
You know, Anthony wants the big. Everyone's got the big three. Anthony wants like the big 10.
Five would do. Just give me a starting five.
What do you think? Like,
Okay. All right. Stop the shenanigans.
all of a sudden.
What's up, everybody? Anthony here with you from the Matter of Stats podcast. What a great weekend it was for LA sports, and particularly for Lakers and Dodger fans. Oh man, the Lakers and Dodgers had a historic weekend, a great weekend for Los Angeles sports, as the Lakers and the Dodgers both do something very, very special, and we wanted to chat with you about it just for a little bit here. Of course, the Lakers, we'll start with them, as they took care of business in Vegas, capturing the first ever NBA in-season tournament championship. They become the inaugural in-season tournament NBA champions. The first ever NBA Cup also now belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers, along with the first ever in-season tournament MVP award going to, of course, none other than the great LeBron James. It was a historic run for the Lakers in this inaugural tournament. They went 7-0. They took care of business in the quarterfinals at home against the Suns in a really tight one. Then they went off to Vegas and they completely dominated the New Orleans Pelicans in the semifinals, then advancing to face the Pacers Saturday night in Vegas for the finals, where they were able to pull away late and beat the Pacers, going away with it down the stretch. And LeBron was great. Reeves was great. AD was great. We'll talk a little bit about their individual performances. But quite a run for the Lakers in this tournament. I know myself and just a lot of fans and people in the media were kind of really skeptical and interested to see how this tournament was going to play out, how it was going to happen, logistically, how it was going to look. And, were these players really going to get into it? Were they really going to be motivated by the money and the opportunity to win, seemingly a trophy that, maybe is not looked upon, of course, like an NBA championship in value and stature, especially because it's new and, we just didn't really know what to expect. But I think it's safe to say that money is definitely a motivator, as all these teams, all these players were really into it, really engaged. I think you saw really high-level basketball in all of these tournament games. You saw, playoff-type atmosphere in a lot of these arenas, and you really saw players, wanting to play, wanting to win, playing hard, maximum effort. It's a lot of money at stake, and I know sometimes we think, well, these professional athletes, they make millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. What do they care about, a few $100,000? Well, they care because it was pretty clear in the level of play across the board, especially when you got to Vegas. The semifinal game and the championship game, you were seeing high-level effort from players and from coaches. You were seeing, tighter rotations, players playing longer stretches, more minutes, typical of what you'd see, in an NBA playoff series. So it was played that way, it was coached that way, it was managed that way, and I think the results and expectations reflected that. As we mentioned, the Lakers, they advanced to Vegas via beating the Suns. The semifinals in the West, they handled the Pelicans mightily, dropped 133 on them, held them to 89 points. Really did a great job, particularly on Zion. Ingram, and C.J. McCollum, keeping all of them in check, well below their averages. The Lakers had just a great second half, a tremendous third quarter, where they were able to really break out and pull away from the Pelicans. The Lakers hit 17 threes in that game, which is obviously something they don't normally do. And LeBron had, I think, 31 points in just 22 minutes, which was historic in its own right. And the Lakers were able to cruise into the championship game, facing the Pacers, who were able to beat Milwaukee, which I think was a little bit of a surprise to some. But the Pacers are the number one scoring team in the league. And they gave up a lot of points, but they also scored a lot of points, and they were able to get by Milwaukee with just a great offensive performance led by their superstar, Halliburton, who was just dynamic in the tournament overall, but particularly in the quarters and the semis. He had he was averaging over 25 points a game in those two games. He had something like 25 assists and 0 turnovers in the quarters and the semis, heading into the final game against the Lakers, where he was pretty much held in check. The Lakers did an excellent job trapping him, forcing him into higher movements away from the basket, really showing different looks at him, creating sort of staggered walls on the defensive perimeter, so he really couldn't get downhill, couldn't get to the basket, couldn't create, couldn't score like he had been doing in the other performances. And the game was, Lakers led basically the whole way, felt kind of comfortable. The Pacers cut it to, 2 or 3 a couple of times late in the third and fourth quarter, but the Lakers pulled away in the final 5 minutes of the game, cruising to, an easy victory led by the tournament MVP, LeBron James. He was great. Anthony Davis was unbelievable. 41 points, 20 rebounds, 4 blocks. Austin Reeves was great, 28 points off the bench, and the Lakers cruised to winning the first ever NBA Cup. So pretty exciting stuff in the city of Las Vegas for the city of Los Angeles. And we'll talk more about that, of course, and the tournament in general this week on our regular podcast. Also wanted to touch on some other super exciting news that happened. The LA Dodgers, they did what many expected, but there was some speculation that maybe it wouldn't happen, but the rumors ended up coming true, and Shohei Ohtani is a Los Angeles Dodger. It feels like the perfect fit, a match made in heaven. The Dodgers, who are iconic, great in their own right, great National League team, organization. They win their division almost every year. They go to the playoffs almost every year. So it just made sense for Shohei to stay, home, not uproot his family, drive down the freeway to Los Angeles, and put on that Dodger blue. He signed a 10-year, $700 million deal to play with the Dodgers. He's going to slide into that lineup, the new big three with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. That Dodger lineup is going to be stacked. Can't wait to see his debut. And interestingly enough, too, obviously it's the largest contract we've ever seen an individual player get in any of the 4 major North American sports. But, Shohei, at his request, had a lot of that money deferred, meaning a lot of it is backloaded so that the Dodgers would have more cap flexibility. Or I shouldn't say cap flexibility, but actual monetary flexibility to spend more money now without being hit with luxury taxes to make sure the team is as competitive as possible. So really only about 550 of that million, 700 million is going to be paid early in the contract. Most of it's going to be deferred. So the Dodgers will still have a lot of flexibility to make sure the team can fill the holes and needs around it, like another outfielder, another starting pitcher, to make sure that they're putting Ohtani and the organization in the best possible situation to win. And that was something that was really important to Ohtani. And we just can't wait to see him in that Dodger lineup, this spring. So, of course, we will talk all about this in detail on the pod this week. More Laker talk, more Shohei talk. Great to be an LA sports fan. And we will see you this week on the Matter Stats podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.